So I've been doing a lot of thinking lately.
Hmm.
I've been thinking a lot about Human Centipede 3.
Oh man, yeah.
Have I told you about this?
I'm not sure.
I basically recently, I don't know why, I've never seen it, but I gained this weird fascination with the Human Centipede movies, specifically 3, because that is by far the weirdest and most fucked up one out of all of them.
I haven't
Like,
seen it. What's it about?
they do a human
Well, okay, I know what they do, but like, what's the twist? Like, there's the first and the second one. Like,
Well, the first one is like it's 3 people, right? And then the second one it's 12 people, and then the third one is like the psychopath warden, and it's like an entire prison that he stitches together.
oh Jesus
It's
Christ.
no, and if you think that's the most disgusting thing in that, you are very much mistaken. There's all this, but the funny thing is that I think the actor's German, and he's trying to play American, and I don't know what the fuck his performance is, but it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. There's just, I think what really sums it up is just look up, that not now, but look up Human Centipede 3 representing my last brain cell.
What?
Yeah, there's a part where he's explaining what he's gonna do to the prisoners, and he goes, "I can't wait to see your pure agony."
What the fuck? Oh
he
no.
he seems really excited, you know?
That's nice. Good for him.
Yeah,
Good for
like
him. You know what we should do? We should do. You know how we've been wanting to do quarantine drinking games. We should do a human centipede quarantine
oh my
drinking
god,
game.
could we actually do that? That would be amazing.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah, we've been trying to find ways to pass time
Holy
during the
shit,
quarantine.
I'm sorry, I genuinely want to do that.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a good contestant.
All right, cool. I mean, so yeah, welcome to the quarantine special of the JJ Film Podcast.
Probably not the only one, considering
Yeah,
we've
well,
been here for a while.
we'll have time to do a few of these. We've both been inside for around a week, respectively. You've been inside a little longer than me because France is just
Yeah,
on full lockdown now, right?
yeah. No one's allowed to go out. I mean, you're allowed to go out to like get food, but that's it. You're not allowed to go to work. Not allowed
Jesus
to
Christ.
walk around. Yeah, kind of sucks. Then again, I don't know. Gives you time to think, jerk off, watch movies.
True that. Have you okay? So yeah, because we now have a whole list of things where my family and I are watching together. I showed my dad Into the Spider-Verse yesterday, which I was really happy about because I love
Oh,
it.
cool.
Have you seen Into the Spider-Verse
I
yet? I
have. Yeah,
forget.
yeah, yeah. I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. Speaking of
God, I love
good
that movie.
animation films, last night I watched this one film called I Lost My Body. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. It was nominated for an
Yeah,
Oscar,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, yeah. It's pretty insane in terms of animation. The story, I don't know. I mean, the story's great, but it's kind of missing a conclusion in my opinion. But the animation's amazing.
It's French, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, look, it looked really good. I saw the trailer for it on Netflix. I was gonna ask in terms of apocalypse movies. Have I told you about the Shaun of the Dead thing that I found recently?
Nope.
You'll appreciate this. So there's a video that of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and they're reenacting the scene from Shaun of the Dead where they're planning what to do next,
Yeah.
but with like genuine advice for what to do during the virus. So he goes like don't go to the pub, avoid public places, and it's so great because there's just like
That's so cool. You should send that to me.
it's really awesome. Like, have a cup of tea and wait for all of this to blow over.
Yeah.
But it's really cool seeing them now doing this.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That'd be so nice. I want to see that.
Yeah. It's like 2 minutes long, but it's really funny.
I feel like for a lot of people, the quarantine situation isn't changing a lot, though. Shout out to Oscar Allen, by the way, listening to us right now, and who the quarantine probably hasn't affected that much. I hope you're listening, buddy. You're our only listener. So.
I feel as if the Cornetto trilogy would actually be really fun to watch during this whole thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, because there's 2 movies about the apocalypse in it, and
No, I still haven't seen it. World's End.
You haven't seen World's End? World's End,
No.
I gotta say, it's still really good, but I think it's the weakest out of the 3.
Yeah, that's kind of what everyone says.
It's
That's why I haven't seen it
definitely
yet.
what I will say for it is that it's definitely the most depressing out of all 3.
Oh, really? They're so happy and like funny and stuff.
It's still really funny, but it's much heavier than the other 2.
Huh.
because the
That's
whole
interesting.
Simon Pegg's character in that is like this really kind of depressed alcoholic, and that's like kind of one of the main plot lines of the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he kind of always plays losers, I guess, but
Yeah, but like much kind of deeper in that than the other two.
sure, yeah. I've never really been able to decide which one I prefer between Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. They're both so fun.
Hot Fuzz is definitely my preference.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love that one.
I'm trying to think what else is good. What good apocalypse movies are there? I'm not really big on them. They usually bum me out.
Me neither. I mean, I know, and I haven't seen this one, but I've seen the like famous sequences of The Day After. I don't know if you know that movie.
I don't know.
I mean, it's basically like this guy wakes up from a coma or some shit, and like he finds London like completely abandoned.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's crazy images.
I do know that scene.
And-
I thought that was 28 Days Later.
No, wait, isn't? I was almost convinced it was The Day After. Maybe that is 28 Days Later.
It could
I
be.
might have fucked that up.
I always thought that. I know what scene you're talking about. I've seen the pictures of the guy walking through London.
Yeah, but regardless, like I mean that definitely reminded me of the current situation. I don't know how it is in London, but in Paris, this like streets are completely empty. Like the Louvre,
Yeah,
with,
of
like
course.
that really famous plaza in front with the pyramid and stuff. Like there's pictures of that like completely bare. Like it's crazy.
Jules,
What?
we have been to Paris together. I know what the fucking Louvre looks like.
I wasn't. Yeah, I know. I was describing it for our fellow listeners who might not have been to Paris.
Oh,
And also, well, considering our fellow
Oscar
listeners
is our one
Oscar.
listener.
I guess he's been to Paris, but well, whatever. He's a little bit, slow sometimes, so I can't describe it for him.
Oh boy.
Oh, you're right. It is 28 Days Later. Fuck. Wait, what's the day after then? Oh, that's the day after. Fuck. That's that 80s film with the explosion. Oh man.
What?
I did fuck that up. Huh? With the atomic explosion. Like there's like an atomic disaster, and there's the day after.
Yeah, it's the 80s. There's a lot of movies about atomic
Well,
disasters.
it's one of them, Jack.
I mean, that was like the main thing on everyone's mind, you know?
Yeah. What's that actor called again? In 20... Oh, yeah, Cillian Murphy.
Oh.
He's a great actor. I like him.
I like how you asking me like what the actor's name is in a movie that I haven't heard of is very much like my grandmother asking like, oh, who's that one person in that one thing? You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, who's that one guy in that film from, like, the 20th century?
Yeah, there's an SNL skit about that called like The Mom Translator, where it basically you have your mom speak into the mic like, oh, who's that one actor? You know, she's crazy, and then it automatically tells you who it is.
Oh, God.
I think the only actual movie I've seen about the apocalypse other than Shaun of the Dead and World's End is This Is the End, which I don't know if that's not really the most serious movie.
Oh, yeah. No, that one's great.
I liked that movie when I was 12.
Oh, that's kind of mean. Isn't that kind of mean?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. It's just kind of like I think it's known as like the weaker end of Seth Rogen's stuff.
I don't know. I mean, I saw it a long time ago as well, so I don't remember it very well.
I will say this, that one scene, I remember the one scene that really made me laugh and still does. There's the scene where I think Jonah Hill is possessed or some shit, and they're trying to reenact The Exorcist, and they go like, the power of Christ compels you, and he just goes, oh, does it? You know, for the power of Christ, it's not very compelling. And that always made me
great.
laugh.
But yeah, we should definitely do a human centipede thing. But I don't know. I guess that's a bad movie. Maybe we should do one with a good. Speaking of good movies, what's your favorite movie of the decade? Because we've reached a final sort of we've reached a point. You know, it's a new decade.
Yeah.
It's a new life. What was your favorite movie from 2010 to 2019?
Damn, it's weird because that really does span such a long time period. 10 years.
Oh yeah, and we are aware it is fucking March, so we're a little bit late on the
Yeah, we are
bandwagon,
late.
but whatever.
What the shit? Human Centipede isn't on Netflix.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, what a disappointment. What about the second and third one?
No, the second and third one aren't there either.
Oh, fuck. Well, I don't know.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. I really want to do a Human Centipede marathon. I'd be down.
Yeah.
Do you think Oscar would be down for that? And
Well, Oscar's never really down for anything, is he?
No.
Are you, Oscar?
yeah, Oscar. I feel as if Do they know about the Human Centipede, Oscar or Kim? I feel as if
I'm sure Oscar knows about it. Yeah, we probably told him about it. I'm not sure about Kim.
I remember at one point Oscar asked me, I think you were there for this, where he asked me what, like, movies, what would be good to watch tonight, and I recommended like 3 of like the most fucked up, vile movies. I was like, so there's this movie, it's called A Serbian Film. It's really good. I would recommend that. Green Inferno is really good.
Oh man, I should have done that. He's asked me for films a lot of times as well. I should. You know what? I'm gonna do that next time he asks me for films. Just gonna give him the worst fucking movies. Oh, there's this nice little rom-com called. Wait, hold on. What awful movie could we give him?
Well, it's funny because when I was recommending it, he could tell I was fucking with him somehow. He was like, "You're smiling. You're giving me like a smile, and I don't trust that."
Oh man, yeah. Fuck, what's the worst movie?
I was thinking,
or just like a really really boring movie. Like there's like so many movies because there's the movies that are bad, and we talk about the fact that they're bad, and we watch them because they're bad, and we laugh at them because they're bad, right? And then there's movies that are good, and we talk about them because they're good. And then there's movies that are just like
boring.
Bad,
yeah, that's
and there's just like they're not really bad. They're just kind of bad, and so it's just like
bad publicity is better than no publicity.
Exactly.
That was how I felt about the second Jurassic World movie. I was just like, it sucks, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, like it wasn't like horrible, but it just wasn't good. It's just like not a good movie. I still think you're an asshole for defending Oscar on the whole. Fuck. God damn it! What's the name of that movie again?
Roma.
Yes.
What? No, I didn't defend him. I thought Roma was really good. I just thought it was a little too slow at points.
Fuck you.
Okay. Actually, Roma is good mentioning in terms of best movies the decade.
That's true. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorites.
Roma's definitely up there just because, look, I mean, say what you want. I mean, I of course have my opinions on some of the writing in it, but I thought, as everyone has already said, the cinematography in that movie is beyond incredible. It's absolutely beautiful.
I mean, maybe I'm one of the only ones, but I thought cinematography was definitely one of the strong points of the film, but it definitely wasn't the only one. Like, yeah, I thought the writing was like, I mean, I thought it was really moving. It was actually one of the most moving films I'd seen in a few years, or at least a few months.
Let me ask you something. Do you think the cinematography would work as well if it wasn't in black and white? Because I feel as if that was a deliberate choice.
No, I don't think so. That's not saying that black and white cinematography is always better, but it's just that in this situation and in the way they shot it, it wouldn't have worked as well in color.
Oh yeah, no, that I agree. I think it's just for this particular film, it really kind of made everything much more like vibrant and beautiful.
Right, yeah. Because when you look at cinematographers like Robbie Mueller or something who works with like Jim Jarmusch and Wim Wenders, and like, I mean, his cinematography is like, so based on light and like colors and the way different colored neons will reflect on faces and objects. I don't know. I mean, that's just the type of thing. If you get Robbie Mueller and you make him only film in black and white, then it just won't work as well.
I see what you mean. So for me personally, I think my favorite movie of the decade was Moonlight.
Oh, like of the whole decade?
I think so. I really kind of. Huh. I think what Moonlight did really well was it just was so good at showing, not telling. I think Roma does that as well, but I think Roma was a bit more dialogue heavy, whereas there's not too much in Moonlight. And I just thought it was a very kind of beautiful, just the way they. I think also if you make a movie about kind of the streets and stuff like that, you could easily give it, hip hop as a soundtrack. But I thought it was a cool detail to have it be classical music instead.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of just this beautiful.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I thought the movie was great. Yeah. I'm not sure if I would say it was my favorite one though. But yeah, it definitely was fantastic. But I guess it's the kind of, I don't know. I feel like an asshole for saying this, but it's the kind of movie that got like so much recognition that I feel reluctant to say, oh yeah, that was my favorite movie of the year. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean. I remember I also watched it the night of the Oscars.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking this movie had better win some shit. And then there was that whole fuck up where they read La La Land instead of. Do you remember that?
Yeah. That was amazing. Yeah, of course I remember that. That must have been awful for the guys who made La La Land.
Yeah, Damien Chazelle.
Was it Damien Chazelle?
Yeah, it is Damien Chazelle. He made... Oh. So he wrote Whiplash while he was kind of trying to get La La Land produced, kind of at the time unsuccessfully, which is interesting. I still haven't seen La La Land, but it always... I think it just on a surface level, because I have seen Whiplash and I haven't seen La La Land, but I feel as if you pitched both of those movies to me, Whiplash would sound better, you know?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Whiplash, but I liked La La Land, but not that much, honestly. Like, it was a fun movie, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah, I thought Whiplash was incredible. Like, Whiplash is definitely up there for me personally in terms of favorite movies of the decade, because there is just J.K. Simmons alone. Like, there is no other performance that he gives like that.
Yeah, he's such a great actor.
He's a good actor, but you never see him the way he is in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, he's completely different.
Yeah, because I saw him recently in because I watched Burn After Reading.
Oh, recently. I love Burn After Reading.
He's great in that as well. But I get it's a completely different type of character he plays in there. But.
What'd you think about Burn After Reading, by the way?
Oh, I love that movie. It's so good.
It's one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people say that it's like one of their lesser ones, but I thought it's so fun. Like, it's such a great movie.
I love that movie so much.
I think in terms of favorite movies of the decade, I mean, obviously the ones I'm gonna list, it definitely aren't the only ones because there have been so many. But I think Grand Budapest Hotel is definitely one that I need to mention. Yes. Because it basically defined my childhood, yeah, or my teenagehood.
Yeah, we were both 14. That would have.
Yeah, man, I fucking love that movie. Yeah, I mean, it's just like creative, fun, and touching. It's like and almost sad in certain places.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's such like a mix of everything, and it does it so well.
Well, Grand Budapest, yeah, what I love about Grand Budapest Hotel, and I'd argue that I'm totally with you. That's one of the only movies I've seen this decade that I would describe as perfect, where it's just such a beautiful adventure. And it definitely does something that I don't see in a lot of movies, and I think would be kind of interesting doing more, is just having an overall very happy movie and then having it really depressing at the end.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing where he gets killed and the wife dies.
In that sense, it really makes me think of Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well.
Yeah, because Jojo Rabbit, it's same as Grand Budapest. I mean, I prefer Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, same.
But Jojo Rabbit is still amazing, and it's so it's so fun in the beginning, and it's you're laughing all the time, and then it just it takes a complete left turn. It gets so depressing, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I think, I think what's interesting is that the difference between Jojo Rabbit and Grand Budapest Hotel is that Jojo Rabbit kind of takes a turn for its final act, I think, which shifts the tone, but then it kind of ends on a happy note, whereas Grand Budapest Hotel is has a very somber ending.
Yeah, it's really sad, yeah. And it's at the very end. It's really fun throughout, and then the last 10 minutes it's fucking depressing, and then it just ends on that.
I had an idea for something like that a while back. I've never written anything for this, but I wanted there to be this rom-com chick flick where it's just three gals out on the town, that kind of thing. And then in the final 10 minutes, one of them gets arrested for manslaughter. It's really depressing piano music plays, and she goes on the electric chair and shit.
Oh my god, what the fuck? That'd be great. That'd be so great. Oh man, I want to do that. Actually, there's a thing I'm writing right now where it starts out as a rom-com and ends up being really depressing, but it's not to that extent. It's not.
I get what you mean. I wanted to. I don't think you could do this, but I have a story written for this really kind of dark psychological thriller, and I know you couldn't get this done in 1,000 years, but I want to advertise it as if it's a bad comedy. Uh-huh. You know what I mean?
Oh,
another film by J.H. Green, and it's just all of the dumbest moments in the film, and then it's just not indicative of what the movie is at all, basically.
That'd be great. That'd be great, actually.
Yeah, but it feels if you couldn't sell something like that, because I think a lot of people would be really pissed off once they see this movie and it's completely different from what they think it's going to be.
But you know what you can do?
What?
You could just take a really depressing movie that you already know and make a trailer from it and make a comedy trailer. I've always wanted to do that.
You will actually appreciate this then. There is someone who made a trailer for Silence of the Lambs where it's as a rom-com.
Oh, no fucking way. Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Like a rom-com between Hannibal Lecter and the girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's he was looking for a way out and she was looking for a way in. It's great. Fucking amazing. Yeah, it's so funny.
No, but have you seen You Were Never Really Here?
I haven't. I've heard it's really good. That's with Joaquin Phoenix, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because that movie is like probably one of the least comedic movies I've seen in a while. Trying to make that into or like taking like Requiem for a Dream and making making like a comedy trailer for it. Like that'd be great.
That'd be fucking great. I was thinking of what I was mentioning to you a while back, that there was that I watched the film version of Animal Farm recently, which wasn't it wasn't great. But basically there was the poster for it from the 50s. It said like, you'll laugh and cry a little. I'm like, yeah, laughter is not what I associate with the story of Animal Farm.
Yeah, but I guess they did that because it was an animated movie, and at the time you couldn't really sell an animated movie as something serious. Like you had to sell it as like, oh, it's animated, it's for kids, it's fun,
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, maybe that was part of the reason.
Well, it does actually end on a happy note as opposed to the book, where it basically, once they all the other animals realize how fucked up the pigs have gotten, they like regain control and like destroy the farm, basically.
Oh wait, they do? I don't remember them doing that in the book.
They don't do it in the book.
Oh, okay. I thought you said like in the book.
No. I'm saying it doesn't happen like it. So in the book, it ends on the pigs officially taking over and basically becoming as bad as the humans were. But in the movie, it's like a little continuation of that, where the animals decide to revolt after they realize that the pigs are just like the humans.
Oh, that's bullshit, honestly.
Well, yeah, but I think it also gives kind of reflective of the time, because in the book, Stalin still had power, like when it was written, whereas when the movie was written, Stalin had already died, and I think the kind of de-Stalinification of everything had kind of begun.
Yeah, but I think the message of the book is like, it's a lot. It's more universal than just Stalin. Like I think it goes beyond that.
Well,
right?
Yeah, true, but I mean the pigs are all like direct representations. Like Napoleon is Stalin, Snowball is Trotsky, and Squealer is Molotov. So
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're directly supposed to be representative of them.
Oh, wow, okay. Oh yeah, I didn't know about Trotsky and Molotov actually.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But what my point, where I was going with this point, was I would love, in tune with laughter being associated with Animal Farm, I want there to be a rom-com version of 1984. Which,
oh yeah, you told me about that.
Winston Smith is your average Joe working at the Ministry of Truth. Then one day Julia came along.
That'd be horrible. I totally watched that. Man.
But when O'Brien steps in, that's where things get crazy. It cuts to him being tortured. But what I will say, actually, in terms of something that does semi-do that, in terms of just not being able to predict what it is, I think Parasite did that very well. Back on track with best movies of the decade, because I thought, when we were filming the last episode, I mentioned that Knives Out was probably my favorite movie of 2019, and then I saw Parasite. I'm like, oh, fuck that. This is incredible,
Yeah.
Because, oh, fuck, man. Parasite was so goddamn good. Like, it...
Yeah, that was great.
I have to see it again. I think No, my cinema's closed now because of the virus, but they were still showing it last time I passed it, and it's been out for months now. I'm really just happy that something from a foreign director is finally doing as well as it is.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. No, that is great.
But not just on the grounds of that. I just think it's such a unique concept as a film. Like, there really is. Like, what's funny is it seems like it could be a relatively simple premise, but I've never seen any other movie like it.
No, I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. No, I mean, just in terms of the tone and in terms of like how it treats the story and the characters, yeah, it's pretty unique. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It just seems like my point being is that like as a concept, it feels like it could be relatively simple.
Do you want to? So we've been talking about good movies for a while. Do you want to introduce a bad movie you've seen recently to us, please?
A bad movie that me specifically saw?
Yeah, that you specifically saw, and that I refuse to fucking see.
What, because you're an asshole and you're a backstabber?
No. Okay, you know what? To be fair...
You said you would fucking see it.
I did. To be fair, I did want to see it, and I just didn't find the time, because it was, like, at the very bottom of my priorities list. Like, the very bottom. Like, you know when you have a list... And, like, you kind of run out of space on the end of the page, so you have to, like, write really small. Like, it was there.
Okay, so I saw this movie called Sonic the Hedgehog. It was a movie... Honestly, I mentioned this to you already, though. There's really not that much to say about Sonic because I personally, a lot of people actually liked it. I personally didn't. I thought it was, but here's the thing. I thought,
Wait, who the fuck liked him?
I don't know, people, fans of it, and which is weird because I'm a fan of Sonic. I like the games, but I don't know. I just thought the movie was, That's the thing. I wouldn't even go so far as to say it was bad, but I was just like, it didn't really do anything. I think you would have fucking hated it though.
Oh yeah, I know I would have hated it, man. Fuck that kind of movie.
Well, no, yeah, not just on the count of the fact that you don't like the concept, but I think just there were specific moments when I was watching it where I remember specifically thinking like, "Oh, Jules would hate this so fucking much." No, like, because
I kind of want to watch it.
Well,
now.
just some of the dialogue is like the exact kind of thing that you despise in terms of like, we're friends and I'm gonna like protect you, like that kind of thing.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I know how much you hate that, and it was very. The special effects were actually really good. I'll give him that. And I will say this: best part of the movie is easily Eggman because he's just having fun. Like Jim Carrey is just enjoying the hell out of that role, even if it's not great.
Really? Because I love Jim Carrey, and I'm just like, fuck. They used him for such a crappy role.
Well, it's weird because it's not. His character isn't exactly what you think when you think of Eggman. However, he is really. He's so fucking weird and so batshit crazy that it's honestly really funny.
What the fuck?
There's a scene where he goes, what was it? He was like showing off his inventions and stuff, and he goes, oh fuck, what is it? He's talking about Charlotte's Web and goes, you know how Charlotte's Web ends? The spider dies and she leaves behind an egg sac and a bunch of spiders come from it. The robots show up and goes, now look what came out of my egg sac.
Oh my god.
And it was one of the most discomforting moments, and like I was watching it with 5 other people and all of us were just like, what? Like,
my egg sac. Oh, no.
Egg sac. It was,
I mean, there's no way they didn't do that on purpose.
oh yeah, no, but it's like there's something so physically repelling about it, I think.
Yeah. Egg sac. Oh man, I don't want to think about Jim Carrey's egg sac, man. That's not something I want to picture.
No one does.
Yo, by the way, the audience rating for Sonic the Hedgehog on Rotten Tomatoes is 93 fucking %.
Holy shit. Yeah, I think a lot of fans liked it. What I will say actually
Christ.
was that the one thing that did make me happy about, the movie in general was, do you mind if I spoil it?
No, I could not care less, Jack.
Okay, cool. The whole thing is that Sonic comes into the real world through a portal, essentially.
Uh-huh.
This magic ring portal. And then in the mid-credits, there's a scene where it's like the outskirts of town, and another ring portal appears, and I'm like, oh my god, please let that be who I think it is. And fucking Tails jumps out of it.
Oh, what?
I will say this, they really did, we mentioned this all the way back in the first episode, but they really polished up the special effects with Sonic, and Tails looked fucking awesome. Like, they made him look exactly like he does in the games. But I don't know. I thought that part was really. I was actually like, yeah, he's here. It's the boy. Yeah. So they're teasing a sequel. I don't know. It wasn't Cats bad. At least for me, it was just in the end. Like for me, I'd say like a 4 or 5 out of 10.
Uh-huh.
As opposed to something. Okay. I think it goes
4 or 5 out of 10. That's not too bad, honestly. I would have expected worse.
Well, in terms of bad movies I've seen recently, I would say it goes like. Oh, I can't really do hand gestures as an audio thing, but I think at the top we have Sonic. One peg below that we have Jurassic World, and then below that we have Cats. But none of them quite reach that level of bad where it's just actively funny, like The Room or Troll 2 does.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Obviously, I don't think you should make a movie that's blatantly awful, but, if it's gonna suck, I'd like it to suck well. Jack Green, 2020.
If it's gonna suck, it's gotta suck well. That's a good quote.
I was at a McDonald's with friends, and I was telling them about how. I guess I'll tell them the same thing I told them, where there was this milkshake that was basically just ice cream, and and as a result, I had to suck way harder than usual. So that was really great with context. And my friend, nice. I told that to my friend, and she just said, like, yeah, you had to suck harder to get that white reward. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
But since it was just paper straws, they kept on dissolving, so I went through 3 straws for 1 milkshake.
Wait, really?
Yeah, man.
Wait, why don't... I don't know. They should give out, like, metal straws that they wash or something. That'd be cool.
Do you realize how... I mean, they can't just give them out. People would steal them.
No, like, metal... I don't know. It's, like, in the thing or something. In the cup, you know? It's, like, attached to the cup.
Oh, I
you
see
gotta
what
give
you mean.
back the cup. You know? I don't know. That'd be cool.
I think they do that at a restaurant near my house, but I get your point. I used to keep a metal straw on me, but I think it broke recently, so I need to get a new one. I hate paper straws so much.
I don't use straws, so I don't see the need. Like, I always ask just not to give me a straw when I get a drink.
But what about a milkshake? I mean, it's better with a straw.
I don't really, I haven't had a milkshake in like 3 years.
Why?
Because I don't live in America anymore, and non-American milkshakes suck asshole.
They're pretty good here.
Well, you're in the UK, I'm in France. French people don't know how to make milkshakes. All they know how to make is like baguettes and say shit weirdly by using a lot of vowels.
Yeah, what is up with you guys and vowels?
I don't know. I saw this word recently in French where literally none of the letters in the word, literally none of them, are pronounced correctly. Like, literally every letter is pronounced in another way than it should be. It's amazing. I forget which word it was.
That's Danish in a nutshell. Danish is much worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and they're very self-aware about it, I'd say, which is really funny.
All right, I think, last time we concluded this podcast.
Wait, actually, can I talk about...
Oh, wait, really? I thought we were done. Oh,
no, sorry,
right,
I had one more thing, a movie I wanted to tell you about, because I don't think I've mentioned this yet to you, and I'm really looking forward. Have I told you about the movie Loquisha?
What? No.
Oh, fuck yeah. It came out last year, right? It was considered the worst movie of the year by like 1 million people. And I haven't seen it yet, but I would honestly, if it's on Netflix, we should watch it together. We should do a drinking game to that.
Let's do that.
Basically, it's about a white man, never a good start.
Nope.
Who basically cons his way into a radio career by pretending to be a sassy black woman.
What the fuck? Oh, no. Wait, when did this come out?
Last year.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I don't understand. How does this ever get produced?
That's a very good... I think the guy produced... So it's written, directed, produced, and the main character is like all the same guy. So it's this one guy.
Oh, yeah, okay. This is like Room 2.0.
It is basically... Yeah, it's obviously
So
not
I assume
great.
Laquisha is the name of the sassy black woman?
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Actually, I'm sure we can get away with this. Why don't you watch the trailer for it? Because I think that does the talking better than I ever could.
Wait, like right now?
Yeah, sure, why not?
How do you spell Laquisha?
Loqueesha. As I'm spelling this, I keep on thinking more and more about how stupid this is.
It's basically, White Chicks, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's like reverse White Chicks, but this
Like
is
that, just the other way
so much
around.
worse.
Also, White Chicks suck.
Well, White Chicks was like, in a way, like a reverse of blackface in the 30s, but that still didn't make it okay. It was still like,
not only does it not make it okay, it's also just not a good movie. Like, it's not funny.
well, here's the thing. I will say this, and this might be, I don't like playing devil's advocate, but I think the only time doing something like blackface is okay now is when it's clearly meant to satirize it and like show how awful. Like, It's Always Sunny does it twice. And it makes it very obvious that this is fucked up and you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, Be Kind Rewind does it as well.
The people who are doing it and make excuses for it they're horrible people, so it's not good. 30 Rock also does it twice with the same character doing it on both occasions, and her whole thing is that her character's a psychopath. So,
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I got the Laquisha trailer here. Let me watch this.
You always seem to say the right thing to just the right person. What's your secret?
I'm really just talking to myself. I don't charge for my advice.
Well, you should, because it was amazing. I saw this, and I thought of you. You will be a hit in no time.
Welcome to the Joe Show. I submitted myself to a radio station for my own show.
Well, congratulations.
They rejected me.
Well, congratulations then.
You weren't right for your own show? Jason skipped it. You need to get the money for this school.
$13,000 a semester? Daphne needs her own show. If I was a black woman, I'd be perfect.
Minorities are encouraged to... Oh, God.
Brilliant. I know. The biggest thing in radio. but I still need my anonymity.
You nervous? Very. It's not a crime. It's theater.
You live with Loquisha. What's your problem?
Hi, Loquisha. It's free.
Oh, I ain't talking to you, not the way you sound. Next caller.
You go, girl.
You just be good to her. If you good to yourself, you can be good to others. But don't be too good because the police will come around.
Wait, is that green screen?
Where did you get this?
I got another job.
Doing what?
Consulting work. What the hell would you know about being a white guy anyway?
I know quite a bit.
Loquisha is a real role model for every African American woman on this
Oh
planet.
no.
Like the whole city has a Quisha mania.
I am Loquisha, officer.
What was that?
I think I might be a black woman trapped in a white man's body.
You need to talk to Loquisha. Just because she's a woman and a black person doesn't mean that she doesn't understand you.
Oh, what?
Is this really happening?
I'm on a bridge above the river, and I'm gonna jump.
But thanks for calling. Enjoy your jump.
What?
I gotta start listening to her.
All right, yeah, that was fucking horrible.
Yeah. So it's I mean it's also considered like the worst film of the decade. That was the thing. I remember there was a Watch Mojo thing on the worst films of the decade, and that was number 4.
Wait, why number 4? That should be number 1. What was number 1?
Number 1 was the Avatar movie, which I didn't even think. I mean, I've heard it's fucking awful, but I wouldn't say, because look, they're both shitty movies, right? But if you strip them down to the concept, you have an adaptation of one of the best cartoons ever made, and a white guy pretending to be a black woman. Like, which one of those sounds worse in theory? And look, you can, like, it's an out there concept, and I feel you could potentially make it good if you satirized it enough. Like, Sorry to Bother You does that amazingly. I think it actually would have been kind of, I don't know if it would have been okay, but I think it would have been kind of funny if they had did something like with Sorry to Bother You, where it actually is a black woman doing the voice when he does. But
Hold on, okay. Can I show you something?
yeah, sure.
Okay, go to the Loquisha trailer.
Okay.
All right, go to minute 1:09.
Okay.
You see this asshole?
Oh my god.
Do you see that? What the fuck? So they faked a shallow depth of field.
Oh
Like,
my
what the
god.
fuck? I noticed that when I was watching the trailer.
That's awful.
At first I thought they green screened it, but
I think I don't know what's going on there, because see, the edges of that guy are blurry. What the shit?
No, what they did is like they made a mask around him to make it look like they had like a shallow depth of field because everything was in focus. I think that's probably what they did.
Oh.
It looks fucking horrible.
That's really weird.
Yeah, because like the sides of his shoulder are like out of focus and like the sides of his face. Like how did this get through post? That's amazing.
I don't know.
I encourage our one listener to go to the Loquisha trailer as well and look at minute 1:09 or 1:10.
That's fucking, yeah, it's 110. That's fucking terrible. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, good on picking up on that, Jules. You wanna do something to end us off?
Yeah, so I think last time we concluded this with Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, right?
Last time you played the Mario 2 level select theme or character.
Oh,
select.
that's true. Well, okay, the time before, but I feel like we should stick to the fact that we are cultivated people, and we should stick to concluding our cultivated podcast with great writers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read another text by Edgar Allan Poe. So it starts. Peter was a courageous boy, but that dawn he could feel fear stick to his skin like dew on leaves. The fog was thick enough to make him lose his way home. Then he began to hear strange noises coming from the depths of the forest. He noticed a presence, small shadows that seemed to giggle as they followed in his footsteps. Who were they, Grandpa? Cruel, deformed forest dwellers, haughty creatures, spiteful and impudent. They are the vengeful and evil goblins, the little people of the night.
Wait, that's the
Did
fucking
they
Troll
want
2
with-
script! Come on. Alright, that's a good note to end it on.
Yeah, alright, well, see you guys next time.